It's the coldest city. Describe and compare different places in the world. Describe temperatures, distances, and measurements. Word power. Places around the world. Match the words from the list to the letters in the picture. Then compare. Beach. Desert. Forest. Hill. Island. Lake. Mountain. Ocean. River. Valley. Volcano. Waterfall.
Conversation. I love quizzes. Part A. Listen and practice.
This is one of the best airline magazines I've ever read. Oh, look, a quiz. Our world. How much do you know?
Oh, I love quizzes. Ask me the questions.
Sure. First question. Which country is larger, Mexico or Australia?
I know. Australia is larger than Mexico.
Okay, next. What's the longest river in the world?
That's easy. It's the Amazon.
All right. Here's a hard one. Which country is more crowded, Malta or England?
I'm not sure. I think Malta is more crowded.
Really? Okay, one more. Which city is the most expensive, Hong Kong, London, or Paris?
Oh, that's easy. Paris is the most expensive.
This is one of the best airline magazines I've ever read. Oh, look, a quiz. Our world. How much do you know?
Oh, I love quizzes. Ask me the questions.
Sure. First question. Which country is larger, Mexico or Australia?
I know. Australia is larger than Mexico.
Okay, next. What's the longest river in the world?
That's easy. It's the Amazon.
All right. Here's a hard one. Which country is more crowded, Malta or England?
I'm not sure. I think Malta is more crowded.
Really? Okay, one more. Which city is the most expensive, Hong Kong, London, or Paris?
Oh, that's easy. Paris is the most expensive.
Part B. Listen to the rest of the conversation. How many questions did Steve get right?
So let's see how you did on this quiz. The first question, which is larger, Mexico or Australia? You said,
Australia.
and you're right. Both are large, but Australia is larger. Next, what's the longest river in the world? You said the Nile. Sorry, that's wrong. It's the Amazon.
Oh, of course. I knew that.
This next question I didn't know. Malta is more crowded than England.
So I got it right? I remember hearing that Malta is the most crowded country in Europe.
And finally, you said that Paris is the most expensive city.
Yeah. And it is, right?
Sorry, Steve. Actually, Hong Kong is the most expensive of the three.
Really? Wow. I guess I didn't do so well. 2 right, but 2 wrong.
No, come on. You did okay.
Grammar focus. Comparisons with adjectives.
Which country is larger, Australia or Mexico?
Australia is larger than Mexico.
Which country is the largest in the world?
Russia is the largest country.
Which is more crowded, Malta or England?
Malta is more crowded than England. Malta is the most crowded country in Europe.
Adjective, comparative, superlative.
Long. Longer. The longest.
Large. Larger. The largest.
Dry. Drier. The driest.
Big. Bigger. The biggest.
Beautiful. More beautiful. The most beautiful.
Crowded. More crowded. The most crowded.
Expensive. More expensive. The most expensive.
Good. Better. The best.
Bad. Worse. The worst.
Pronunciation. Questions of choice. Part A. Listen and practice. Notice how the intonation in questions of choice drops, then rises, and then drops again.
Which city is more crowded, Hong Kong or Cairo?
Which city is the most expensive, London, Tokyo, or Moscow?
Listening. Quiz show. Listen to 3 people on a TV quiz show. Check the correct answers.
Our contestants this evening are Joshua, Rachel, and Andrew. And now, contestants, let's get right to our first question. Question number 1. Which is the oldest? The Statue of Liberty, the Eiffel Tower, or the Panama Canal? Joshua?
I think the Statue of Liberty is the oldest. I'm pretty sure they built the Eiffel Tower and the Panama Canal later.
That's correct. Question number 2. What is the tallest waterfall in the world? Is it Niagara Falls, Angel Falls, or Victoria Falls? Rachel.
Angel Falls is the highest. It's over 1,000 meters high.
That's right. Question number 3. Which is the heaviest? A pound of gold, a pound of butter, or a pound of feathers? Andrew?
They all weigh the same.
Yes. Question number 4. Which of the world's oceans is the smallest? The Southern Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, or the Indian Ocean? Nobody knows? Does anybody want to guess? Joshua.
The Indian Ocean is the smallest.
No, sorry.
Oh, shoot!
Andrew.
The Arctic Ocean is the smallest.
Correct. Question number 5. Which city has the largest population? Seoul, Sao Paulo, or Mexico City? Rachel.
Sao Paulo has the largest population.
Very good. Question number 6. Which continent is the driest? Meaning, which gets the least rain? Africa, Antarctica, or Australia? Rachel.
Antarctica is the driest of the three.
That's right. Okay, contestants, the winner is...
Snapshot. 8 surprising facts. The hottest place in the world is Death Valley, California. The temperature there has reached 134 degrees Fahrenheit, 56.7 degrees Celsius. Antarctica is the largest desert on Earth. It is 5.4 million square miles, 14 million square kilometers. It's also the coldest, windiest continent. NCIS is the world's most watched TV show. Over 55 million people across the world have watched it. The largest cat in the world is the Siberian tiger. At 700 pounds, 320 kilo, it is bigger than a lion. France is the most popular country to visit. It gets over 80 million visitors a year. The highest price for a car at an auction was just over $38 million for a 1962 Ferrari. The auction happened in 2014. The best-selling music album of all time is Michael Jackson's Thriller. The 1982 album has sold around 65 million copies. The planet in our solar system with the most moons, 67 total, is Jupiter. The largest one, Ganymede, is the 9th largest object in the solar system.
Conversation. That's freezing. Part A. Listen and practice.
Hi, Lily. You're from Canada, right? I'm going to Toronto in January.
Actually, I'm from the U.S., but I went to school in Toronto. Winter there can be pretty cold.
How cold is it on average?
I think the average in January is around 20 degrees or maybe 25 degrees.
25 degrees? But that's warm.
25 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about -3 or 4 Celsius.
-3 or 4? That's freezing.
Oh, come on. That's not so cold. At least not where I'm from.
Really? Where are you from?
Well, I live in Fairbanks, Alaska, around 3,000 miles from Toronto. That's, let me check on my phone. Yes, that's about 4,800 kilometers.
Wow. So is it colder than Toronto?
It's much colder than Toronto. It's the coldest city in the United States.
Hi, Lily. You're from Canada, right? I'm going to Toronto in January.
Actually, I'm from the U.S., but I went to school in Toronto. Winter there can be pretty cold.
How cold is it on average?
I think the average in January is around 20 degrees or maybe 25 degrees.
25 degrees? But that's warm.
25 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about -3 or 4 Celsius.
-3 or 4? That's freezing.
Oh, come on. That's not so cold. At least not where I'm from.
Really? Where are you from?
Well, I live in Fairbanks, Alaska, around 3,000 miles from Toronto. That's, let me check on my phone. Yes, that's about 4,800 kilometers.
Wow. So is it colder than Toronto?
It's much colder than Toronto. It's the coldest city in the United States.
Part B. Listen to the rest of the conversation. Is Fairbanks a small town? What else does Lily say about it?
Tell me a little more about Fairbanks, Lily.
Well, it's one of the biggest cities in Alaska. We have a large university, the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and the people there love ice hockey.
I can imagine. What other winter sports are there?
Well, there's good skiing in Fairbanks. Lots of people go there to ski.
Cool. I really like skiing.
And in the summer, there's the famous Midnight Sun baseball game. In June, it's still sunny at midnight.
Wow, sun at midnight? That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is. Also, you should definitely try to see the northern lights between August and April.
I'd love to do that. That sounds so beautiful.
So, that's Fairbanks. But don't forget the low temperatures.
You know, Fairbanks sounds perfect. I think I should spend a month there. Well, maybe not in January.
Grammar focus. Questions with how.
How cold is Toronto in the winter?
It gets down to minus 25 degrees Celsius, minus 13 degrees Fahrenheit.
How hot is Fairbanks in the summer?
It gets up to about 20 degrees Celsius, 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
How far is Toronto from Fairbanks?
It's about 4,800 kilometers, 3,000 miles.
How big is Seoul?
It's 605 square kilometers, 233.6 square miles.
How high is Mount Everest?
It's 8,848 meters high, 29,028 feet.
How long is the Mississippi River?
It's about 3,700 kilometers long, 2,300 miles.
How deep is the Grand Canyon?
It's about 1,828 meters deep, 6,000 feet.
Reading. Look at the title of the article and the pictures. Why do you think these places are so clean? Earth's cleanest places. Lake Vostok, Antarctica. About 4 kilometers 2.5 miles under a large area of ice in Antarctica, there's a lake named Lake Vostok. It covers 15,690 square kilometers 6,058 square miles and is 800 meters 2,625 feet. Deep in some places, Lake Vostok is prehistoric. Millions of years old. But until 1956 no one even knew it existed. It's a freshwater lake and it has been hidden from sunlight for 15 million years. What this means is that the water is some of the cleanest, purest water on Earth. Cape Grim, Australia. We all know that air pollution is a problem all around the world, so where do you go if you want really clean air? Well, Cape Grim in Tasmania, Australia is probably the best idea. Cape Grim has some of the cleanest air on Earth. Cape Grim also has beautiful, clean water. Why is this? Wind. Special winds called the Roaring Forties cross the Southern Ocean, bringing with them wonderfully clean water and air. In fact, in Cape Grim, people are allowed to put rainwater into bottles and sell it. That's how clean it is. Singapore. The tiny island of Singapore has a population of about 5.7 million people. It also has very strict rules about the way its people behave. Singapore is one of the cleanest cities on the planet because of these rules. People are not allowed to chew gum unless it's from a doctor, and all used chewing gum has to go in a trash can. That means that you don't find gum on the sidewalks. In fact, no one drops trash in the street. There are big fines for people who don't respect the rules, but most people are happy to keep their city clean and healthy.